First fighter to the scale, the destroyer, the undefeated Conor Benn.
Chris Eubank Jr. in two weight classes. He has fought at a higher weight though in the last year or so, but we all say, don't we, there's a
set. Got his face in front of him. Chris, he doesn't look fully hydrated, but he looks a lot better than he did this morning. So now it's just getting through the next 12 hours, or shall I say, for this young man.
5 minutes ago, inside the weigh-in hall, the tension was electric. Chris Eubank Jr. looked shredded at 160, every muscle showing weeks of a brutal weight cut. Conor Benn, up from 147 once again, carried that defiant look. But side by side, Eubank's composure spoke louder than any word in the room.
Just be there as a father. Show him that support, show him that mental drive that he needs, because mentally that's more.
Conor Benn's tone carries a hint of uncertainty as he talks about his recent fights at higher weights. His power and rhythm belong to welterweight, where his body feels natural and sharp. Against Chris Eubank Jr., every extra pound could cost him that familiar snap and speed he once relied on.
Yeah, my last few fights have been at 153. My last couple, sorry. One in each year. So I fought once a year, 153. So I am a welterweight.
Chris Eubank Senior's voice carries authority, the kind that comes from decades in the game. He's warning everyone about the danger of dehydration and that prize fighters pay for weight manipulation. His son has already learned from past mistakes, cutting earlier and smarter this time. For Eubank Senior, this is not just fatherly concern. It is a statement built on old-school boxing wisdom that reminds everyone of how thin the line is between power and punishment.
The weights are wrong. I said I'll never be proved wrong because I am standing on the rules. So I've said all that I've had to say. It doesn't change. So I'm not going to go bleating on the same subject. You will see there will be consequences. Wait. Dehydration is dangerous.
I totally understand your point, but the fighters don't think about the...
I'm not talking about them. I'm not talking about the fighters.
Conor Benn tries to project calm confidence, but his body language tells a story of effort and recovery. He talks about feeling strong, yet there is a sense that he is convincing himself as much as anyone else. Returning to 147 might be his comfort zone, but standing across from Chris Eubank Jr. at middleweight means facing a man who has been sculpted for this weight his entire career. The contrast could decide everything once the bell rings.
Very chilled, yeah. I'm just excited to get back down to 147 after this.
You feel strong at the weight? So good.
Yeah, I'm fully fueled for my sessions, so I feel strong.
Chris Eubank Jr. sounds composed and deadly serious. The mention of Bomac lights up his tone as he credits the mastermind who rebuilt his rhythm and focus. He carries the aura of a man who has already tasted redemption and now seeks dominance. While Conor Benn jokes and postures, Eubank Jr. speaks like a soldier who has done his drills and knows exactly when to pull the trigger. Every word feels measured, every glance calculated.
Cracking some jokes when we were facing off. It's not going to be funny when that bell goes in a couple of days' time, that's for sure. But we'll see what happens.
He says he's better prepared. How's it been for you having Bomac back by your side in this camp? What's it given you?
Bomac is a genius. This man is, he's at the top. He's shown time and time again that he has that secret sauce. We had a great camp for the Liam Smith 2 fight, and that's why I knew that he was the man for the job here in this rematch against Benn. With some tricks up our sleeve.
Conor Benn speaks with that fiery energy fans love, but beneath the confidence lies a touch of nervous excitement. He believes he can hurt Eubank Jr., but those are dangerous words when facing a man with proven chin and timing. This rematch is not just about revenge, it is about validation. Benn wants to prove he belongs in Eubank's world and that his power can travel up the divisions. His smile hides the pressure, but his eyes show he knows the magnitude of this night.
I've got redemption and I've actually got revenge on the same night before we even fought. So it's quite funny, but yeah, I'm excited to go in there and just do what we know I can do. I know I can hurt him, and I'm going to go out there and capitalise on the mistakes he made in the first fight and go out there and give the fans what they want.
Nigel Benn's words come with warmth and faith, the tone of a proud father watching his son carry the family torch. He praises the Eubank family, but his belief in Conor's victory burns through every sentence. There is history between these names that goes beyond sport, and Nigel wants closure through his son. His confidence might inspire Conor, but it also raises the stakes, because this fight is now about legacy as much as it is about pride.
You know what, it's not even that. I thank God for bringing Chris in my life and for bringing Chris Jr. in Conor. So, you know what, it's going to be a great night for Conor. I know that. But I'm just glad that you know that we've got a family just like us that just likes to fight. But I know we're going to be victorious on Saturday.
Conor Benn sounds reflective and driven as he admits his emotions took control in their first encounter. This time, he wants to channel that fire into focus. The talk of family feud adds a dramatic edge because it reminds everyone how deep this rivalry runs. For Benn, this fight is about redemption and proving that his legacy will not be overshadowed by history. The final words carry weight as if he knows that one mistake could make this finale unforgettable for all the wrong reasons.
I did say the emotions got to bear me first time round. It'd be a lie saying if it didn't. When I get that win on Saturday, it'll mean a lot to me, my dad, my team. Ultimately, the family feud needs to be settled. This is the finale. This is the end. This ends here.
Chris Eubank Jr. speaks with the calm certainty of a fighter who has lived and breathed boxing his entire life. Every word reflects years of discipline, preparation, and dedication. He is the picture of focus and self-belief, showing that experience and hard work outweigh hype. Watching him stand there, it's clear he is ready mentally and physically, and that his journey has been about earning every advantage he now holds in this high-stakes rematch.
I know what's coming. I've prepared my whole life for these moments. I've put the time in. I've dedicated decades to this sport, and I've done it all without cheating, without cutting any corners.
Eddie Hearn breaks down the fight with a balance of excitement and caution. Moving up to 160 gives Chris Eubank Jr. a clear physical advantage, and he has shown time and again he is comfortable at this weight. Conor Benn's determination adds drama, but Hearn's words underline that heart alone will not be enough against a disciplined and technically superior Eubank Jr., who is prepared meticulously for every scenario in the ring.
We got to have a think about it. Conor's saying, I want revenge, I want this, and it's the biggest fight. I mean, it's massive. Yeah. But you don't want too many fights like that, and we're giving away advantage up here at 160.
Johnny Nelson provides insight into the rematch with the perspective of a seasoned observer. Conor Benn has certainly improved, and his resilience is undeniable, but Chris Eubank Jr. remains a more complete fighter. Benn survived the first fight, but could not dominate, and Nelson suggests that the gap may have closed slightly, but not enough to overturn the natural advantages of size, skill, and ring IQ that Eubank Jr. brings into the rematch.
I mean, do you think Conor Benn will be better in the second fight?
Yes.
Does that mean that you think that by him being better and there's no more left from Chris Eubank, that Conor Benn's able to bridge the gap, get an outcome in his second fight?
Without a doubt.
You do?
He couldn't have done any more. If he could have knocked out Conor in that fight, he would have done.
Yeah.
He just couldn't get rid of him. And Conor stuck it. So regardless of him being surprised that Conor stuck it out a lot more, he couldn't get rid.
Adeoladipo highlights the evolving dynamics of the rematch. He recognizes that size and experience gave Eubank the first fight, but Conor Benn now enters with more confidence after surviving the power and timing of his opponent. Both men have grown since their first encounter, with Eubank older and more refined, while Benn is hungrier and determined to prove himself. The stage is set for an electrifying clash that promises both skill and drama, and the Tottenham crowd will be fully engaged in this high-stakes showdown.
Ultimately, in the end, sort of bigger guy won it. The rematch is going to be interesting, I think. He's now realised that I can hurt that fighter. I've felt the other fighter's power. Next time, I know what's coming. I think he might even do better in the next one. I think he's got a shout to win it.
And Eubank's older.
I get these fights, but you do want to see Ben, can you kick on to try and win a world?
George Groves reflects on the mental challenge of chasing another peak after a career-defining win. Chris Eubank Jr. has already achieved greatness, and Groves warns that maintaining focus and hunger is crucial. He respects Conor Benn's ambition, but notes that Eubank's experience, composure, and mental edge make him extremely hard to beat. This perspective emphasizes that while motivation matters, strategy, discipline, and prior victories can decide the outcome even before the first bell rings.
I think maybe Conor Benn beats him. I think if I was Eubank, my point was at the time, I was like, mate, you have just climbed your Everest. You've just headlined a stadium. You've beat what is now a rival. Spectacular fashion in terms of getting the win with your dad by your side and all the hooting and hollering that went on, amongst it. You can't top that feeling. I don't begrudge you if you want to earn more money out of the sport, but be careful because you look way past his best.
Conor Benn's dedication is almost relentless, and Eddie Hearn captures that perfectly. Every day in camp is about improvement, and refining his skills as he pushes himself beyond limits. Sparring with Dubois has challenged him physically and mentally, shaping him into a sharper fighter. The focus and discipline he demonstrates show that Benn is leaving nothing to chance in this rematch. He is motivated not only by revenge, but by the need to prove himself against a bigger, stronger opponent. Fans can expect a fighter who is prepared, hungry, and fully committed to seizing this opportunity.
About trying to improve, and it's inspirational, you know, the whole time out there just working on getting better, improving, and I mean, I think it's fair to say pretty much camp started.
Duke McKenzie's analysis highlights the psychological edge Chris Eubank Jr. carries into this rematch. His size and mental approach give him advantages that Benn cannot ignore. Eubank controls the pace and imposes his will, while Benn has to overcome not just skill, but the subtle intimidation of a bigger, smarter fighter. Mentally, Eubank begins every fight ahead and has proven he can maintain composure under pressure. McKenzie's insight makes it clear that physical preparation alone will not be enough for Benn to win. Strategy, experience, and psychological control could define the outcome.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if Eubank loses. I don't really see that happening. Again, he's fighting a career-best welterweight. He knows that. From a psychological perspective, when you know you've got a smaller guy in front of you, you kind of start 2 or 3 rounds up in your own mind.
Hamza Shiraz makes a bold prediction for Conor Benn inside 6 rounds, emphasizing how weight could impact Eubank Jr. He highlights the challenge of moving up in class and the toll it could take on timing, stamina, and speed. Benn's energy and determination could make a decisive early impact if he capitalizes on any physical disadvantage Eubank may face. This perspective adds intrigue and shows that despite Eubank's experience and skill, there are scenarios where Benn could control the fight early and force Eubank to adjust under pressure.
What's your prediction, Benn or Eubank?
I've got Conor Benn to win inside 6 rounds. I feel like the weight will affect Eubank too much on how it affected him before as well. And it was a hard fight. It wasn't an easy fight. Yeah, Conor Benn to win inside about.
Conor Benn's discussion with Carl Froch shows a focus on efficiency and smart energy use. Movement, patience, and timing are emphasized, showing that Benn has learned from his past mistakes. By controlling the pace and not wasting energy early, he can create openings to land meaningful shots. This approach balances aggression with strategy and demonstrates that Benn is not only motivated, but has a tactical plan. His mindset is sharper, understanding that sometimes restraint is the most exciting way to dominate, and that skillful positioning can set up the fight-winning moments.
I'd like to see you calm it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Just on the outside, just the movement, just steady it down.
Boring though, Carl.
No. On the outside, man, you don't want to be chucking energy away and burning down the bar. Think of it.
It's boring.
No, it's not boring, because then you get in range and make it exciting.
Teddy Atlas highlights the key physical dynamics of this fight and the challenge Conor Benn faces moving up against Chris Eubank Jr. The size, experience, and hydration advantages favor Eubank, making it difficult for Benn to get inside safely. Atlas emphasizes the tactical requirement for Benn to close distance while avoiding damage, showing how precision and timing will be critical. This preview underlines that the fight will be as much mental and strategic as physical. Eubank's power and experience create a significant barrier that Benn must navigate carefully to have success.
My preview of this fight is the same as it would have been for the fathers. How unusual is that? So you got Benn, the smaller man, and then there's a hydration clause. He was a welterweight that he fought a few fights at junior middleweight, but Eubank's been a middleweight and super middleweight most of his career. So he is the guy who's bigger. I see the fight as Benn having to get close without taking damage.
Gordon Ramsay breaks down the challenge of moving up in weight and highlights the natural advantage Chris Eubank Jr. holds. Jumping multiple weight classes is a huge test for Conor Benn, and he must be aggressive early to offset Eubank's size and experience. Ramsay emphasizes that if Benn cannot make an immediate impact, Eubank Jr.'s control, strength, and tactical intelligence will dominate the fight. This insight shows how critical timing, strategy, and early execution are for Benn, while illustrating that Eubank Jr. is poised and prepared to capitalize on any hesitation or miscalculation.
To lose. And jumping up a weight is hard, but jumping up 2 is even harder. So Chris has got the advantage if it goes past 6. Ben's got to get this done early, otherwise it's going to be Chris's. I predict Chris in round 6.
The rematch between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn is shaping up to be one of the most intense fights of the year with so much at stake. Eubank Jr. has shown incredible discipline, cutting weight early and preparing meticulously for every scenario, while his size, experience, and mental edge give him a clear advantage. Conor Benn brings heart, aggression, and a desire for revenge, and his improvements since the first fight make him a dangerous opponent if he can implement his strategy effectively. Fans can expect a battle of skill, psychology, and willpower, with every round potentially pivotal. If Eubank Jr. wins, it cements his legacy as a fighter who can dominate bigger and hungrier opponents. If Benn shocks the world, it will be a career-defining moment of resilience and courage. Tell us in the comments who you believe will come out on top and how you see the fight unfolding.